Hey y'all, welcome to today's video, and in today's video we're going to talk about something a little controversial. We are going to talk about probably the biggest mistakes Harley Davidson has made as a company, which is directly affecting their revenue, their stocks, the brand as a whole. But before y'all jump down my throat, let me say I personally love Harley Davidson. Just because you love somebody doesn't mean you can't recognize some mistakes or some areas for improvement. And in this video, I am going to talk about those areas that I think Harley Davidson should fix and frankly still could fix if they implemented some of them. As I said, do not think for a minute that I do not love Harley Davidson. It's a lifelong passion of mine that stems from a very young kid, and even just last year, we broke the Guinness Book World Record for the longest parade of Harley Davidsons. I lived on this very motorcycle for over 3 years, becoming the first person to ride to every Harley Davidson dealership in America, promoting Harley Davidson every day on my own dollar. So don't think that I don't love the brand, I do. That is why it's so important to me, and I hope that someday we'll see change in the future, which will surely help this brand grow and be around for generations to come. We're here at my River Campground, and coming up we've got a huge party. We call it the Stubborn American because it's a reunion for us breaking that world record. It took us 4 attempts, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts to break that world record, and now it's ours. And so we have a reunion every year right here at my campground, the River Campground. You know, just get together to celebrate, and in case anybody were to ever break that record, we quickly turn it into the new world record ride. So if you want to get some merch, we've got new patch hats out, we've got t-shirts, we've got books, we've got children's books, my life story, all kinds of stuff at my website, AdamSandoval.com. You can go there and get yours right now. But before we go any further, let's get into my top 5 things I think Harley Davidson is making a mistake at today. The number one thing I think that Harley Davidson is making a mistake at is really tied with the number one thing that I think is Harley Davidson's advantage, and that is their dealer network. These are people that own locally, they own these dealerships, they're in touch with their local communities, their local customers. This dealer network is probably, like I said, Harley Davidson's biggest asset. You know, I don't think they use it to their full potential. And in my experience, I've talked with, well, frankly, people from every dealership in America. I have probably stepped foot in more dealerships than anybody who works for the entire company of Harley Davidson. And what I have experienced is they don't work close enough with their dealers. They put out a lot of information to their dealers, and I think they do a good job at that, but I don't think it's a two-way street. I don't think they take enough information back from their dealers. And that, I think, is one of the most missed opportunities for the Harley Davidson Motor Company, and I think in the end, it will always show up in their sales. So moving on to the next two, they both fall underneath the marketing aspect of Harley Davidson, and I think it directly ties to the fact that they're not listening to their dealers. Because they're not getting that communication as good as they should, I think they're making some mistakes. Number one mistake when it comes to marketing, I think, is their placement of marketing and marketing dollars. They will spend millions of dollars to be on the Milwaukee Bucks jersey, or they will spend millions of dollars to put their logo in the middle of a UFC cage. But does that really translate to sales? Sure, it translates to brand recognition, but let's face it, Harley Davidson is already one of the most recognized brands in the world. Are people really going to be looking at that logo on the canvas of the cage, watching somebody get pounded, and be considering their purchase of a Harley Davidson? In my opinion, Harley Davidson could take a fraction of the money they're spending on these corporate sponsorships and empower actual riders to share real adventures. I think we're gonna not only break a world record, but I think we're about to destroy a world record.
What's up, blockheads?
Mr. John Maxwell. If you like to fix anything on your motorcycle, or if you like even knowing about your motorcycle, go follow this man.
Just want to say thanks to everybody for supporting $1 Million Bogan.
Real adventures that people are going to follow along with just a fraction of that budget. They could reach more people in one day than they do in the entire season of the Milwaukee Bucks. So for this reason, I'm gonna say spending their money on these corporate sponsorships rather than getting behind the guy who's doing the craziest wheelies and getting him traveling the entire country, spending more money in that space, I think would give them a much greater return. After all, what you're showing them is what they want to see. It's why they're buying the motorcycle. It's not just a brand recognition. Now you're selling the story. And let me tell you, all of these bikers I meet out here, every one of them's got a great story. I think this next one kind of relates to the sponsorship and the not listening to the dealers as well, and that's the core abandonment. I think that a large portion of the Harley Davidson core is indeed getting older, and that does result in a decreasing number of people purchasing the motorcycles. So I understand they have to reach out to new groups, but again, I think they went too far, too hard, and too aggressively. I think that they're reaching for these target markets and these younger generations, and they're losing their identity in the process. I think nostalgia never goes out of style. You just need to share it and you need to show it. But their aggressive attack at these outreach markets, I think, has turned some of their most loyal fans away. I'm talking about people who have tattooed their logo to their skin, or guys like me who dedicated years of their life to break their world records. When you abandon them and you don't spend any energy or attention on them, and you're just trying to grab the new consumer, you find yourself in a bit of a predicament. So in my opinion, and keep in mind these are all just my opinions, you're welcome to disagree with them, I won't hate you for it. I actually believe different people can have different opinions and get along. But in my opinion, I think they should have ramped up the support for their existing clientele and given maybe one less piece of the pie to the outreach. The next two things I'm gonna mention, and the last two things of our 5 top things on my list that Harley Davidson is making a mistake of, are also identity issues. For one, the electric motorcycle. I absolutely love electric motorcycles. I think they're the future. But Harley's addition of this Livewire motorcycle, in my opinion, is a fail. And I think this probably comes back to not listening to your dealers, maybe corporate being ran by people who don't have the history or the seat time to really know what Harley Davidson's about and can't grasp what the Harley Davidson culture is. And let there be no mistake, this is the greatest motorcycle culture ever created in the history of the world. Livewire is a perfect example. I just don't think that Livewire is a Harley Davidson product. By the looks of their pricing, they're not able to compete in the electric space. Not to mention, it doesn't fit the culture. And that is what has made this brand what it is. I think they're taking sharp lefts and sharp rights, trying to find that new well. And I think if they would just slow that curve a little bit, they'd find a little bit more success. The last one I'm gonna talk about is the Pan America. I don't think it's the right bike for Harley Davidson to put out for a couple reasons. I just got into dual sport. I'm brand new to it. I came from the American V-twin and transitioned into this adventure bike world. It was completely new for me, and it was exciting and it was fun. And I can tell you the culture of that adventure bike world is not generally huge fans of the Harley Davidson. These guys that are riding these adventure bikes aren't going to desire the Harley adventure bike even if it outperforms the other bikes. It's just not their culture. It's like you're not gonna have a lot of Harley guys switching to Honda Goldwings, and that's no matter how well that Honda Goldwing performs. Disclaimer, you will get a fraction of people that transfer, but by the masses, you're not gonna get that culture to translate. I think you're gonna have the same problem with this Pan America. You're not gonna get the existing riders to want to ride the Harley adventure bike, and you're gonna take your existing Harley riders, those are the guys that are gonna buy the Pan America, they're already your customers, now you're turning them on to a new sport where the culture isn't real supportive of Harley Davidson. If they fall in love with it, they're gonna end up probably on a BMW or a Honda or a KTM or something like that. I think it's a fail. I think it's another reach for that next generation that is just not in support of the Harley Davidson culture. All in all, I think the whole boat that Harley Davidson is missing is reaching their culture. Don't hate me, I still love the brand. I will always have a Harley Davidson till the day I die, if I'm so blessed. So if you agree with me, if you think Harley Davidson should be standing behind their culture, please let me know in the comments below. Tell me, am I spot on? Do you agree with me? If you disagree and think that the Pan America and the adventure bike is going to be the future of Harley Davidson and electric motorcycles, let me know in the comments below. I want to hear from you too, because me, I always want to keep my thumb on the pulse of the motorcycle community. And don't forget to share this video. Let everybody out there know that we still love our Harley Davidson culture, and no matter what decisions they're making up top, us riders, we're always here and we're always together. All right, y'all, if you want more motorcycle content, please click that subscribe button down below, and we will see you in the next video. I'm gonna close with one of my favorite closing, and that is, life is short. buy the damn motorcycle.